Masechet Beitzah, Perek Rishon, first chapter, first Mishnah. Let's do the introduction to the Mishnah. כבר הזכרנו בפתיחה למסכתנו. So we already mentioned. The rule is like this, שכל דבר שלא הוכן ליום טוב, if you didn't prepare the object for יום טוב, אסור לאכלו, you're not allowed to eat it, ואף לטלטלו, not allowed even to touch it. ביום טוב משום מוקצה, it was out of your mind, that's it. מכאן, so here we're going to have a ruling now. תרנגולת, a chicken, but it's not a regular chicken. If it's a regular chicken, you might have thought it's going to be food for Yom Tov. This is a chicken you didn't think is going to be food for Yom Tov. How do I know you didn't think it was going to be food for Yom Tov? Because תרנגולת העומדת לגדל ביצים. Because it's not the type of chicken you use for meat. It's the type of chicken that gives eggs. That's the type of chicken it is. אסור לשחטה ולאכול ממנה ביום טוב. We're going to see, you're not allowed to shecht it, because you didn't think about it for meat, and you're not allowed to eat from it in Yom Tov. וכן, and now comes another stringency. What happened if she laid an egg on Yom Tov? ואסור לאכול את ביצתה שהטילה ביום טוב. You're also not allowed to lay to
designate for laying eggs.
Oh,
Or the Yom Tov, everything.
Very good, very
You
good.
can shecht it, but you can eat the egg.
Oh, but the question is, we're going to. I'm not sure we're going to go over here. I don't think even it's a whole concept of nolad. It says, can you think about something that didn't exist? That's the question. In other words, in halacha, we're going to learn this in many, many other things. For example, can I sell to you, we're making a document, that whatever money I make next year from hunting is yours? Is that a kosher document? So the answer is no, it's not kosher. Why is it not kosher? Because it didn't come to the world yet. I cannot sell you something that is not here. I'm selling you.
You're selling me a drink.
Exactly. It's not. So it says, for example. So what do you do, for example, with a field, or I give you what you can say. You can sell dekel leperot. What does it mean, dekel leperot? You don't sell him the fruit of next year. You sell him the dekel. Says the dekel, you can rent the dekel for me. Whatever the dekel comes, but you cannot, because I cannot sell you the fruit. Because the fruit is not here yet.
It's not there.
Yeah. It might be the problem over here, but we see not necessarily. We see not necessarily. Okay? משנתנו דנה בתרנגולת העומדת לאכילה שהטילה ביצה ביום טוב. In other words, our Mishnah... No, that you want to eat the chicken.
Oh.
Okay? So like this. This Mishnah is talking about a very specific case. The specific case it's talking about. If it's a chicken that is for laying eggs, like you say, that might be okay. We're going to discuss if it's nolad or not nolad and why it's not nolad later on. But we're not talking about that case. We're talking about a case you didn't think of the egg. You thought about the meat. That chicken was, I'm going to eat.
Yom Tov.
Before that Yom Tov, you thought, I'm going to eat this chicken. Okay. And then...
chicken lay egg.
And this chicken lay egg. The question is, did you have your mind on the egg? Okay? Because the chicken is, you thought about meat, not specifically about egg.
Yeah, you didn't think about the egg itself, to eat the egg.
Yeah.
About eating the
So
chicken.
he's going to say, so in all this Mishnah is only talking about this specific case. Okay? ואומנם בחגון זה אין לביצה דין מוקצה. So we say the egg is not considered muktzeh in such a case. Why not? שהרי התרנגולת עצמה מוכנה היא. First of all, the entire chicken, you prepared it, you thought about it. ומותר לשחטה ולאכלה ביום טוב. Because you thought about it, you're allowed to shecht it, and you're allowed to eat it on Yom Tov. ואף הביצה שהטילה ביום טוב, בידוע שנגמרה בגוף התרנגולת עוד מאתמול. And here's the ruling. If the egg was laid today, it meant that it was already ready yesterday. Yeah? Which is important to our ruling over here. Because if it wasn't ready from yesterday, it will be a problem. It is new. So in other words, it did exist yesterday. If it didn't exist yesterday, then you wouldn't be able to. Okay? ומכאן, שלפי הדין מותר לאכול את הביצה ביום טוב. So therefore, you should be able to eat this egg on a Yom Tov. Because egg is already finished the day before it's being laid.
But you can say it on any tarnegollet.
Yeah.
That it's ready before.
That's right. במה דברים אמורים? So what is the problem over here? So if everything is good, so why even we have a debate? Eat it, what's the problem? כשערב יום טוב היה יום חול. So that works good. The egg was already prepared on the Chol, on the Friday, because if the egg wasn't prepared on a Friday, you wouldn't be able to eat it. But we say, if it's laid on a Shabbos, it means it existed on a Friday. So it was already prepared. אבל כשערב יום טוב חל להיות בשבת, but what happens if it's Shabbat and then it's Yom Tov? In other words, on Shabbat, the egg was prepared, and now you're preparing from Shabbos to Yom Tov, and it wasn't prepared from the Friday from beforehand. ונמצא, הרי הביצה שנולדה ביום טוב נגמרה בשבת. So in other words, the Beitzah that was born on the Sunday was actually finished its work on Shabbos. In other words, it finished to become ready on Shabbos. So the egg was prepared from Shabbos to Yom Tov. ונמצא שבת מכינה ליום טוב. And over here we have the ruling that Shabbat is not allowed to prepare for Yom Tov. We already learned about it. We need to do עירוב. וכבר הזכרנו בפתיחה שאין הכנה אלא ביום חול. It says the preparation you need to do from beforehand. And this egg wasn't prepared on a Thursday. Because the Thursday it wasn't made yet. It wasn't in the process of becoming. מכאן נחלקו משנתנו בית שמאי ובית הלל. So therefore, we're going to have a disagreement in this Mishnah about בית שמאי ובית הלל. אם גוזרים בכל יום טוב משום יום טוב שחל להיות בחג השבת. In other words, in actual fact, Shabbos to Yom Tov, you wouldn't be allowed to do it. Everybody agrees. בית שמאי and בית הלל. But Beit Shammai or Beit Hillel is going to be machmir over here. And Beit Hillel is going to tell you, you know what, since you can't do it from Shabbos to Yom Tov, I'm not going to let you do it also from Chol to Yom Tov. Because if you're getting used to do it from Chol to Yom Tov, you would think that it's allowed from Shabbos to Yom Tov. So therefore, I'm not, even on Yom Tov, now it's prohibited. And by the way, this is one of we're going to learn, I think, two over here in this Mishnah. We say that usually Beit Shammai is stringent and Beit Hillel is lenient. Over here, this is one of the three places where the opposite. That Beit Hillel is more stringent than Beit Shammai. Okay? Interesting there. So let's see. ביצה שנולדה ביום טוב. We have an egg that was hatched on a Yom Tov. שהטילה תרנגולת, and which type of egg is this? It's a type of egg that came from a chicken that you were thinking about eating. כמו שביארנו בקדימה משנתנו, just like we explained in the beginning of the Mishnah. בית שמאי אומרים, בית שמאי is going to say, lenient, what's the problem? תאכל. You're allowed to eat it. מותר לאכול את הביצה ביום טוב. He says you're allowed to eat this egg on a יום טוב, שאינה מוקצה, because it's not מוקצה. Why? מאחר שהתנורת מוכנה ליום טוב. Look, the chicken is ready to be eaten. ואף הביצה, and the egg is already made. It's not in the process of not being made yet. It's already done. It's already there. You just don't see it. That's a different problem. Open it up, open the chicken up. You see it's already done. Everything is done. It just didn't hatch. ואף הביצה מוכנה בגוף התרנגולת מערב יום טוב. In other words, the egg was already a full-term egg when on the Friday. So it already was there. If it became a full-term egg on a Shabbos, you wouldn't. But since she laid it on a Shabbos, I know it was already full-term on a Friday. And בית שמאי say, אין גוזרים בכל יום טוב משום יום טוב שלאחר השבת. It says, I'm not going to make a decree that I'm worried of every Yom Tov. I'm not going to make a decree because of the Yom Tov that comes after Shabbat. On a Yom Tov that comes after Shabbat, that you're not allowed to eat the egg on that Yom Tov. Yeah? That I agree with you. Beit Shammai says you're not allowed to eat the egg because the day before, it's already being made on a Friday, and Friday it wasn't ready yet. So that you can't. I agree with you. But I'm not going to make the decree now on a Yom Tov that happened on a Tuesday. Why make the decree over there? I don't make the decree over there. Yeah? Beit Hillel omrim. Beit Hillel says, no, we're going to be stringent over here. Strange. Yeah? Lo te'achel. Beit Hillel say, we're not going to be allow you to eat it. Again, not because it's unallowed. It's allowed. But we're afraid that if I will allow you over here, you do it on Shabbos also. So we make a decree. Because God just explained to people, when did Yom Tov fall, not Yom Tov fall, people are going to get confused. In order to alleviate this confusion, just say overall, one rule, and that's it. Make it easier for them. Otherwise, people are going to start making mistakes. Asur le'echal beitzah zo biyom. So the Beit Hillel says you're not allowed to eat this egg in that day. Sho'il v'asura hi biyom tov shechal liot achar Shabbat. Because if the Yom Tov happens to be after Shabbat, it's going to be forbidden. מפני שאין שבת מכינה ליום טוב, like we say, Shabbat cannot prepare for יום טוב, כמו שביארנו לעיל. לפיכך גוזרים בכל יום טוב, משום יום טוב שחל להיות לאחר שבת. Therefore, we're going to make all the יום טובs the same. Yeah, after Shabbat, before Shabbat. It's one rule, otherwise it's going to get too complicated. ואסורה ביצה לאכלה ביום טוב, and therefore, even that you should be able to eat it, we're going to make a decree over the board. אגב, הלכה זו שבית שמאי מקילים ובית הלל מחמירים. And he notes it over here, just pay attention that this is one of the places, the few places, that it's the opposite. Shammai is lenient and Hillel is מחמיר, is stringent. שלא כברוב ההלכות שנחלקו בהם בית שמאי ובהלל. Unlike most of the cases, when there's a disagreement between Shammai and Hillel, which is the opposite case. Finished this thing. So what now? מוסיפה משנתנו הלכה אחרת. Now our Mishnah is going to bring another law. And this other law has got nothing to do with Yom Tov. The only reason it's bringing this law because it's another instance where Shammai is lenient and Hillel is stringent. That's why it's bringing it. Because see, this was also, so I'll tell you another strange place that this is happening. But it's got nothing to do with our case over here. But let's learn it anyway. מוסיפה משנתנו הלכה אחרת, בעניין איסור חמץ בפסח. It's talking about the prohibition of chametz in Pesach. שאף בה, that also in that. So it has to do with Pesach laws. Got nothing to do with us. But the law go like this. בית שמאי מקילים ובית הלל מחמירים. That also over there, that Beit Shammai are the lenient and the house of Hillel are the stringent. Where is it? בית שמאי אומרים, שאור בחזית. He says, שאור, you need the measurement of a zait, of an olive. Now, what is שאור? שאור, your wife has it. You probably never seen it, but I'm sure your wife has it. Does your wife make bread? Does your wife make sour bread?
Yeah, sometimes she makes.
So she noticed she has some dough that it's rising. In other words, it's the old. Today everybody use yeast. In the old time they used that way. Seor is the dough that you put as a starter. That's what seor is. Okay? So seor. So he says if you have a measurement of a seor, when are you obligated? In your house, בחזית, in a measurement of an olive. שיעור איסורו של זעור, so the measurement of the prohibition of שאור, of the starter dough, שבו מחמיצים את העיסה הוא בחזית. It is a חזית. וחמץ, and if it's bread, how much you need to be? ככותבת, like a date, which is bigger. ושיעור איסורו של חמץ הוא ככותבת, היינו כתמרה. like a date. פרי תמר שחלית יבש. הכותבת גדולה היא מכזית, ופחותה מעט כביצה. It doesn't matter, it is bigger measurement than a kazite. Date is bigger than a zite. ובית הלל אומרים, so in other words, Beit Shammai, when it comes to bread, are very lenient. They say, in order for you to be obligated, you need a large amount. Beit Hillel say, that's for Pesach. Beit Hillel is saying, no, both of them, the seor and the bread, are both kezais. So over here, Beit Hillel is even more machmir than Beit Shammai. ובית הלל אומרים, זה וזה כבזית. Beit Hillel says, no, they are both an olive, אף חמץ שיעורו בכזית, also just regular bread. The measurement is like an olive. בגמרא מבואר, the Gemara explains, שלעניין איסור אכילת חמץ, but we're talking about the prohibition of eating חמץ, אף בית שמאי מודים שזה וזה בכזית. Both of them admit that eating חמץ, they're both the measurement of an olive. Yeah, but שנאמר, 7 ימים שאור לא יימצא ביתכם, כי כל אוכל מחמץ ויחתה הנפש של מדינת ישראל. says, measurement for eating is always a kazite. They're not arguing about measurement of eating. So what are they arguing about? פתח הכתוב בשאור וסיים בחמץ. And it opened over there when it comes to eating. First it says the starter dough, and then it says the bread itself. לומר לך, זהו שאור, זהו חמץ. It says it's the same thing. For eating, same thing. כשירו של זה, כן שירו של זה. So, in other words, so what are they arguing about? If they both admit that it's a kazite when you eat, what are we talking about? לא נחלקו בית שמאי ובית הלל אלא עניין ביעור חמץ. The disagreement is when do you have to burn it? What the measurement that it needs to be, to remove. שנאמר, it says, לא ייראה ולא יימצא. Yeah? It says you should not even have seen it. In other words, you have to burn it if you see such a measurement. When do you have to burn? That's the argument, not what you have to eat. לא ייראה לך חמץ ולא ייראה לך שאור בכל גבוליך. When it says you shouldn't see chametz and you shouldn't see starter in all your boundaries, וסוברים בית שמאי שהואיל וכתוב בעניין ביעור גם שאור וגם חמץ, and the house of Shammai saying, since it's talking about when to remove the chametz from your possession, it says both שאור and חמץ, הרי זה בא להשמיענו, it comes to teach us שעון שיעורו של זה כשיעורו של זה, that there's two different measurements. So it says, Beit Shammai, why, when it comes to eating, you say it's one measurement. When it comes to beer, you say it's two measurements. How did you come to that conclusion? So Beit Shammai is telling you, ואף על פי שהשווה אותם הכתוב לעניין אכילה, and Beit Shammai says, yeah, when it comes to eating, I admit, they're the same measurement. לא השווה אותם לעניין ביור, it says, when it comes to burning, they're not the same. ואומנם שאור שמחמיץ את העיסה שיעורו בכזית, and he says, when it comes to the starter dough that makes the whole process, that measurement is a kazite. אבל בחמץ הקלו בית שמאי. But in other words, seor, since it is real chametz, they call it, that's the real thing, because that's what makes chametz chametz. This is what makes it chametz. It's enough kazite, but over there in a regular bread, which is not the real stuff, that's less lenient, less strict. We're going to give you a little bit more before you have to burn it. שאין עוברים על לא ייראה. So in other words, you're allowed to have a little bit more measurement before you're transgressing on not having it in your possession. אלא בשיעור ככותבת. But you are only transgressing it when you have a date. ובית הלל סוברים שלמדין ביעור חמץ מאיסור אכילה. In other words, the house of Hillel learns the possession from eating, and the house of Shammai doesn't learn the possession from eating, he learns it from somewhere else, and therefore he has different measurements. ואף לעניין ביעור זה בזה כזית. Okay. Finished. And again, the second part had nothing to do with Yomtov. The only reason we brought it because it's another place.
I didn't know that you can have a little chametz in Pesach.
You're not. The question is, are you transgressing בל ייראה ובל תמצא? It's what you're allowed to have. Are you supposed to get lashes now?
No, if you have kazait.
In anything, you have to remove.
Chametz is a karet, no?
When is the karet? After that measurement. And it's not karet, by the way. I think karet is only for eating. I don't think karet is possessions. I'm not sure. Yeah. But possession, you're still not allowed to have. But when did you transgress? After that specific measurement. Until then, you're not allowed to do it. It's like it's something like eating pig. You're allowed to eat pig? No, but when you transgress, after you ate the kezais. So the same thing over here. It's not that you're allowed to eat pig. You're not going to get lashes until you eat a certain measurement.
Kezait is amount of measurement.
It's in grams. Yeah, no, it's grams. You can check it up. It's not.
It's not kezait.
There's a team. It is kezait, but the zait that was in their times, it was big ones. So it has a big. You can actually have amount of grams you can put on the weight.